Hello again, everybody. Today I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on the third thing that you need to be giving your ants. I've done one on sugar and I've done one on protein, and sugar and protein are always right up there at the top of everybody's agenda. But there's a really, really important third thing, that's even more important than those two, and that's water. Ants not only need a humid nest, which we've discussed in previous videos, but they need access to actual drinking water. And as I said, this is the most important thing that you can feed your ants, or you need to be looking after for your ants. And not giving them drinking water will kill a colony fairly rapidly as well. They can go downhill very quickly if they don't have access to water. And even if they do have a little bit of access to water, they can still lose numbers. This is their water test tube that you're looking at, and as you can just see how many ants are there today collecting water for the colony. And for contrast, I took some shots of the sugar in the outworld on the same day, and you can see there's less ants collecting sugar than there is collecting water. And I've actually got two sources of water for my colony. I've got that water test tube, and I've got a water tower, which I'll show you in a minute. So anyway, yeah, the reason people perhaps don't focus as much on water is in the early days, you get away with it. When they're in the test tube, they've got access to the water reservoir in the test tube, and they suck the water through the cotton wool, and therefore they've got water. In the very early days of a nest, maybe up to about 50 workers, they can get away with drinking condensation off the nest if you keep the nest humid. So people often don't give their ants a water source, and they don't realise that they need it. This is a shot of the underside of their water tower, just so you can see the comings and goings that's constantly going in and out of there as well. But once they're past about 50 workers, they must have a water source somewhere in their setup. So you could create another test tube like the one that you've created, kept the queen in, but put the cotton right up near the end so that the whole test tube is filled with water apart from just a little bit at the end. And then you could put that into their outworld, or like I've done, connect it up to the setup. Or you can buy these things. This is a water tower that's built into the nest. So some nests have these built in anyway. And you can get one of those, or you can get water tower modules from some of the suppliers where you can just get a module that joins into the rest of the setup. And what I'm doing here, by the way, I'm just showing you down the water tower, and you can see those little holes at the bottom. What happens is the surface tension of the water is high enough that it doesn't leak through the holes, but the ants can suck it through if they need to. So yeah, I've got that one and the test tube for the Lasius niger. Now the Lasius flavus haven't got as big a setup as the Niger, so I've gone for the other method which you could use, and that is, like I said, to either put a water test tube in the outworld or buy a freestanding water tower like this one. These can be bought online, just search in insect water tower or something like that, and again they work in exactly the same way, in that underneath the reservoir of water there's like a metal grill, and at the bottom there's these sort of chambers. There's the metal grill, so the water tower sits onto that, and surface tension is high enough that it doesn't leak through that, and then the ants go in here at the bottom, and through that, as I'm just tipping it, you can just see they can climb up and get access to the underside of that metal grill, and they will suck the water down through that grill. And again, this is the water tower grill at the bottom of that, works on the same principle. So it doesn't matter how you do it, but when you're thinking, especially next year, when you're thinking of your setup, you need to be thinking about having a water source in there as well. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.